Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pizza Motor Chaos. This is yours, Dave. I got a line of special guest, Troy Ray, the driver of the Wild Side Nostalgia Nitro Funny Car and the Altered. And this year you got coming out. What do you got?
I just kind of adopted all that, so it just became me, so, but, so that's what I like in the years in drag racing, I guess.
All right, let's do a rewind, Troy. How did it all begin? How did it all begin for you to get into drag racing?
So 1975, I hooked up with Pete Miner and Don Neves. I was 13 years old at the time, and started working on their car, and then a couple years later, went with them a few times racing, and then hooked up with Ruffalo and Elam's Topfield Dragster, some other funny cars, and that was that, and then when I was 28 years old, I bought my own Nitro Funny car from Gary Litton. It was just a roller, and then I put all the pieces together, buying stuff from Freddie Neely and Dale Creasy Sr., who, by the way, he's not feeling well, and there's a shout-out to him. But, buying stuff and put this car together with the help of my buddy Jack Foreman up in Wisconsin and Scott Litton. And we took that car to Darlington in 1992 for the Winter Nationals, and I got my license. IHRA license there, and a couple months later got my NHRA license, and just ran the big show for a few years. Back in those days, in the '90s, it was a lot easier, obviously, than it is nowadays. But I was just a working guy. I worked in a machine shop, and I was my own sponsor. And it was hard running against John Forrest and those guys. It really was. But it was a lot of fun. It really was a lot of fun. That was that. That. But in that era, that's when a lot of the rules started coming in, the new rules. And the expense was getting to be out of hand. So we used to match race with Brent Fanning and Rick Sherrill and Norm Wilding and Del Worsham and Bobby Lagana and all those guys. It was a great time.
Did you race Doc Holliday?
Yeah, Doc Holliday, Tom Hoover, all those guys. We all had the same thing in common. We didn't have any money, so we had to match race. But it was a lot of fun. Match racing is a lot more fun than national events. National events is a good time because you get to feel important. But when you go to the match races, the fans there really appreciate you coming, and it's just more fun. It's a lot more relaxed match racing, and you meet lifelong friends. A buddy of mine, Eddie Harris, he's probably been my longest running fan. He met him back in San Antonio, Texas, back like 1993, and to this day we still talk. He was just a young kid. I put him to work on my funny car. We were at a match race there. But match racing's a good time. The big show is fun, but it's just you better have a thick checkbook.
Yeah, or a lot of big sponsors.
Yeah, right. A lot of big sponsors in that, and with me, I've always basically been self-sponsored. We've had help from Permatex a little bit, Kendall Oil, and heck, some sunglass company. I don't even remember who it were. But that's basically been it. We've had a lot of help from other people, though. Like I said, Dale Creasy Sr., Pat Minnick from the Chi-Town Hustler. He basically taught me how to drive a Nitro Funny Car over the telephone one day. And Gary Bolger from up in Chicagoland, and Pete Miner again, and then help with from Tim Jones and Michael Cavallari running the car, and just on and on and on. It really takes a lot of people to do this stuff. It really does. And nowadays we have Bobby Toth. He's our crew chief now, and Brian Greer kind of runs the whole show. His daddy was Cheryl Greer, the first world champion. champion, But Brian, he really kind of, when we go racing, Brian just takes care of everything where I can just kind of sit around and concentrate on tune-ups and stuff like that, So, and then my wife, Jackie, she makes sure that we have food to eat, the RV full of fuel and all that stuff to go racing, So, it's a big family thing. It really is nowadays.
Yeah, drag racing is all one big family.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and that's one thing I've always liked about the sport. It's an inclusive sport. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, or anything. If you like racing, you're family. And that's just really nice. It really is.
Then the neat thing about nostalgia, the other drivers, people you're racing is willing to take parts off the car and give it to you if you need something.
Oh yeah, that's normal. John Hale's good for that. And a bunch of the other guys are. Jerry Newman and stuff like that. And I help anybody. If I got a part you need it, just come and get it. And my buddy Dave Watts, who's a partner with me in the Top Fuel Dragster, he's the same way. We just put parts back and forth on the race cars and stuff like that. But that's nostalgia racing. It's a lot of fun, and if you haven't been out to the Nostalgia Drags from the Super Stock series all the way to the gassers and the fuel cars, you really need to. It's a really good deal. Quainstown has the Southeast gassers, and that's a lot of fun to watch. But obviously nothing beats nitromethane. So that's what the fans pay big money to see, and we like to put on a big show. When we're running, we do at least 8-mile burnouts, do the dry hops, do everything to really make sure the fans get the most bang for the buck. We're entertainers first, is what we are when we're doing the match racing.
So now that first funny car you said you got after that one, was you to sell it after that?
Do what now?
The first funny car you were telling me about that the first funny car you bought after you finished running that car, was you to sell it?
Well, what we did was I sold that car to a guy up in Wisconsin, and I retired at that point, just because the financing was crazy, trying to run a fuel car. And I had a new car built that I never ran, and sat around for numerous years, and that's actually our new car for this year, is a car I had built a long time ago, and we just recently got that back, and so we're going to run that car this year. But when we retired, we went and helped a couple cars. A guy from Japan, Yuichi Oyama, his name was Harry, actually, run a Top Fuel Dragster, and a few other things we did, and then just concentrating on growing a business, Dixon Machine and Fabrication. And now that business is affording me to run my Nostalgia Nitro Funny Car and Fuel Altered and Top Fuel Dragster. So we were out of the sport for probably about 10 years, I guess. But you're never really out of it. Once you get into this, especially like the Nitro class, you're stuck. It's a lifelong deal.
Right. So what's the plan for this year, to drive all three of those?
Yeah. I'm going to shake down the Top Fuel car, then I'm probably going to put somebody in the seat. Maybe my kid Josh, I might put him in it, or we'll see. But we've got the '69 Charger body out getting rebuilt by Chris Rowley. He has a fiberglass company here in East Tennessee. And he's rebuilding that to make it a nice, strong body. And we've got a Fiat Topolino body on the car right now, actually, as it sits in the shop. And then the front engine dragster, like I said, I'll shake that thing down, and we'll probably find a driver for that. I said, either Josh or somebody else, but I'm more of a funny car guy, So that's what we're gonna do. And then we're gonna run Funny Car Chaos this year, a little bit here and there, match racing, and we'll the NHRA Heritage Series out here on the East Coast. I'm sure we're not going to make it out to California unless somebody wants to write me a check. So, but yeah, it just costs so much money to go out there. And then those guys, California boys, man, they are really serious about drag racing. They'll throw everything at it to win around, which I admire. Good for them. So, but our plan is probably to stay east of the Mississippi. Hopefully run some Great Lakes Dragway stuff, National Trail Raceway maybe. Looking at Darlington with Brian doing that, and a few other things. We've got quite a few things in the works.
So when's the last time you've been to Great Lakes Dragway?
Actually, I was there in like 1995, 1996 with my big show car, and we ran that. We were there with Brent Fanning, I think Jackson Brothers, Rick Sorrell was there, a few other guys. That was when kind of the tail end when after Broadway Bob was having the big shows. He had huge shows in the 70s and 80s. Everybody had a fuel car race there. And but I look forward to going back. I really look forward to it. I've got family up that way, and hoping Jeff Elliker can put us together with a nice little match race up there. So
yeah.
It's not too bad of a drive for us to get up there, and really like to run Great Lakes Dragway again.
Yeah, I know about Doc Holliday needs somebody to run against now since Baz Young's moving back to Australia. So
yeah. Baz went to Australia. He chickened out and went down there. So he did take his funny car with him. So.
Yeah.
Baz is a great guy. He was a lot of fun to race against. We're going to miss him here in the States. He was a lot of fun. We had a good time with Baz. So, but that's just how it is. People come in and go out. You got Fred Farndon back in. He's run Top Fuel for a long time. Now he's got this Aero Funny car, and got the Chi-Town Hustler coming back out again with the Minix running it, and Larry Cognolese, he's got that car, and says that'll be a good time. Cars come and go. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
I'm proud to say we've been around for a long time. So had a 10-year hiatus, but it is what it is. So but we're back, and we'll be here for quite a while now. We've got a new car, a lot of new parts. This will be our best year ever. Let's go from there, see what it's all about. See how well we do with it, and see how everything works out. So it's a lot to get the show on the road. It just to get out of my driveway costs a couple of $1,000. So it's a lot of money doing this, but we're having a good year business wise, and we kind of look forward to this year, and I think we'll be good. Basically a lot of it also is getting the crew together, in a car. A lot of guys they'll build it and they realize how expensive it is after when they want to run it. They'll quit. But you can't do that. It's a lot of money. It really is a lot of money, but the fun is worth it to me. And I'm not a rich guy at all. I work. I weld all day long to make the money to do this stuff. And but you just gotta dedicate yourself to it.
So you're running 95% nitro?
Yeah, normally we run about 95%. Yeah, yeah. Fans, when the track advertises nitro cars, they don't want 70%. They want nitro, and that's what we give them. So plus I like it. I'll just sit home on the back porch. So nothing else interests me.
So no.
I appreciate everything else. I appreciate the guy that runs the F-Stock Automatic. I appreciate his dedication to doing that, but it's just not for me. I like running nitromethane.
So now you got a regular Heritage fuel pump?
Yeah, actually going to run with the funny car this year. We're going to run 34-gallon pump, 44 mag, and some other odds and ends just to make the show a little bit better, kind of like an outlaw type of a deal. And we're going to do that, but with the Heritage NHRA legal, like for the Top Fuel Dragster, that'll be all legal, 21-gallon pump and all that stuff, you know. So, and you know, because we've run that in the past, and it's fine and all that, but you know, it doesn't give you the flame show that the fans want and deserve, you know.
Yeah, like John Lawson.
Exactly, yeah. We're running kind of John Lawson type of a deal, you know. And it'd be nice if we get some good tires to smoke, you know, because right now it's really hard to get a nice smoke show with the tires we have out there. So, but I know like Ron Hughley with that Tiki Warrior alcohol car, he can blister those tires. So, we need to find out what he's running and put them on our car. You know, so because everybody likes a nice smoke show and a nice flame show.
Yeah, man, I like the frantic Ford. They do some long burnouts.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's me. Actually had a lot of stuff going on. You know, now we're ready to go burn some nitromethane again.
So, what's the quickest ET you've had with the funny car?
With the old Charger with the Logie chassis, ran a 680 at 210 with that. And that car was the most still handling car I've ever had. So that car, you get out about 100 feet and it'd take a right or a left turn. It just depended on whatever it felt like at the time. And so we've always had a good tune-up in it, just never could get that car to respond properly until, because we were building a nostalgia funny car, and by the time we got that done, everybody was a lot more serious than I was, and so I was racing this modern Big Show style chassis with this 40-year-old technology, so I was behind the times a little bit, but now we're on a level playing field now, so look forward to getting out and running some nice 5-second 250-mile-an-hour passes with the car. So it's actually got a tune-up in it from Dale Creasy Sr., the old Tyrant funny car, Tom McEwen, and then you saw those guys, and then Pete Miner from the Gold Coast Duster. He really kind of took me by the hand and got me involved with actually running a car. And so he's, still my idol today, and then I got to know Pat Minnick back in the 70s, and I have some of the other guys too, back then, so I always looked up to those guys. They did a lot without a lot, and that was the old days of one car we worked on was out of Florida, Bill Shifsky with a fugitive Monza. He held that thing around in a bus, school bus, and then it was normal back then for a nitro funny car to be hauled around on an open trailer. It was normal back then. Nobody thought twice about it. Pro stock. I remember Bob Glidden coming to Great Lakes Dragway with Pro stock on a red open trailer once. So it was a lot simpler back then.
So are you hoping to match race with Mike Minnick sometime maybe this year or some in the future?
Yeah, I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will. I think that's all coming together. We've talked about a few things already. With Dan Brown who helps them out. So we're putting some stuff together. I think we'll have some really nice match races this year. Midwest, Jimmy's calling for, pan pressure deals and, make sure that your containment system is up to date and proper to hold all the oil in case you kick the rods out. You don't want to oil the track. Last thing in the world you want to do is oil somebody's track. It brings the show to a screeching halt.
Yep.
So that's, and I'm proud of that. We've never not really oiled the track. We've done it a little bit here and there. how to take care of racetracks and how to take care of your cars, and if you do have a problem, get out of the groove. Don't if you think you're oiling the track, get off the track. Don't make a mess. That's why we got back to the pits. And I was like, do I really want to do this stuff? Because boy, I tell you what, when you hit the throttle on a fuel car, you know it. There's no doubt about it. So, but it was just the start of it. It was kind of so chuckle about it. It was funny. It really got my attention. So, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun at night. I like driving at night. Especially when you got a good flame show going on, and people taking pictures. Back in the old days, they had the flash and all that. And you go down and it'd be like Star Wars, man. There's all these little flashes going off in the stands. A lot of fun.
Yeah. Now everyone's got digital cameras and stuff.
And that really gave me a lot of great advice. So I was kind of prepared for that, But like I said, hitting the throttle the first time, it really got your attention.
Now, do you have any pre-race rituals or superstitions at all?
Yeah. I mean, if you ever watch me get in the car, I always pat the injector a couple of times. Just be good and all that. And other than that, I just get it. I don't really believe in luck. So I just make sure everything's good to go before I get in the car. And between my wife and Brian Greer, they buckle me in, and I trust them 1,000%. I don't worry about anything after that. I just go and do my job. So.
All right, now currently, how many sponsors do you have?
One, Dixon Machine and Fabrication, me. You don't have anything odd going on. If you need to rotate your rods, maybe you might have to put a new crank in it, put a new clutch pack in it. Always get my stuff from Bon and Font. Their stuff is top notch. And it's always it's always nice to put a new pack in the car. That way you're starting fresh. I like to start with fresh stuff. When I'm going to a track, and then fire the car up before you put it in the trailer. Make sure it runs. I've seen quite a few times where guys go to a drag strip, drive 1,000 miles, go to a drag strip, pull the car out, and won't start. For some whatever dumbass reason. But I've learned over the years. Fire the car up, then stick it in the trailer, and hit the road.
Now, you prefer the quarter mile or 8th mile?
It doesn't matter. See here. Great Lakes Dragway mainly because of history, a Greer Dragway on South Carolina. That's fun. The fans are really cool there. And then, that track over in Ohio. I think it's in Toledo, Dayton area. That place packs them in. We were there for a Thursday night match race a few years back with Bob and Kathy Clark and Dave Benjamin, a few other guys. Thursday night, that place was jam-packed. It was an 8-mile track, and it was I'd never seen that many people at a little track like that. It was crazy. The stands were full, and it was packed all the way down past the finish line with people. So it was really neat. But anyways, I like that.
All right, now, what would you consider to be some of the milestones that you reached so far in your drag racing career?
Well, I've been around since about 1975. That's to me, that's a milestone. I've been around for a long time. The big milestone, I guess, the record book deal is I'm the last guy, I'm the last qualifier at the last races in Canada in 1992. Pod bolted to my bell housing to run the clutch with a toggle switch on the steering wheel. I count to one after I hit the throttle. I count to one, and I lock the clutch up. So.
Yeah.
And when everybody else was timers. So that's I've been around a long time.
So after all these years, what still keeps you passionate about drag racing?
He's still doing good. He's still doing fine.
Yeah.
So, the Logano boys, I'm really proud of them. Bobby and Dom, their dad was awesome. Their mom was super woman. And those boys, they're just wearing it out, man, on the big show. It just, I love it. It's really neat to see those kids doing what they're doing. So I get a kick out of that. I get a kick out of seeing the young kids come up.